All right, so when you're building anything in the AWS cloud, one of the first and honestly most critical decisions you have to make is about storage for your servers, your EC2 instances. This isn't just a small detail, it's a choice that's going to directly impact your performance, your costs, and most importantly, the safety of your data. So just picture this for a second. You've just spun up a brand new cloud server. It's up and running, it has all this compute power, it's ready to go. But there's a huge piece of the puzzle missing. Where is everything going to live? Exactly. That server needs a home for its operating system, for your applications, and for all that valuable data you're working with. Now, AWS gives you three main ways to do this, and by the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly which one to pick for any situation you run into. Okay, first up is the real workhorse of EC2 storage. This is the go-to option for, I'd say, most use cases out there, Elastic Block Store, or as we all call it, EBS. So what exactly is it? Well, EBS is what's known as a network-attached storage service that's built specifically for EC2. And you know what? Chances are, if you've ever launched an EC2 instance, you've already used EBS, maybe without even realizing it. You know, the easiest way to wrap your head around EBS is to just think of it like this. It's a virtual hard drive. That's it. It acts just like a physical drive you'd plug into your computer, except it all lives in the cloud. You can attach it to your server, you can detach it, and your data just stays right there, safe and sound. But of course, not all hard drives are created equal, right? EBS comes in a few different flavors. For most of your day-to-day stuff, like your server's main boot drive, GP3 is going to be your best friend. It's the perfect, cost-effective default. But let's say you're running a massive high-transaction database, something like Oracle. You're going to need the absolutely insane speed of an IO2 volume. And then for things like big data processing or just cheap archiving, you've got ST1 and SC1. The key is just matching the right tool for the job. So, here's the most crucial thing to remember about EBS. Persistence. If you turn off your server, your EBS volume and all of your data are totally safe, just waiting for you to turn it back on. And that persistence opens the door for another killer feature, snapshots. You can take a perfect point-in-time backup of your entire drive, which, let me tell you, is an absolute lifesaver for disaster recovery or for just quickly cloning new servers. Now, let's shift gears completely. Our second option is a total departure from EBS. I want you to meet the Instant Store, or as I like to call it, the Speedy Scratchpad. And right here, this is the single most important difference you need to understand. Where EBS is all about being persistent, Instant Store is what we call ephemeral. It's just a fancy word for temporary. When that instance goes away, so does all the data on it. And no, that's not a bug. It's a very intentional feature for very specific situations. To really get why it's so fast, picture this. An instant store isn't a separate network drive like EBS. It's basically a solid-state drive that is physically bolted into the very same server hardware that's running your EC2 instance. That direct connection means you get ridiculously low latency and just blazing fast speed. Okay, I'm going to let this one sink in for a second, because this is critical. I'm going to say it again. The data is lost if the instance is stopped, or if the physical hardware it's on fails. You absolutely do not use an instant store for anything at all, that you can't afford to lose in a heartbeat. So, you might be asking, why on earth would anyone use something so temporary? The answer is one word: speed. It's absolutely perfect for things like caches, temporary files, or what we often call scratch data. Stuff that gets processed and then you just throw it away. It's also fantastic for certain types of databases that are so resilient, they actually manage their own data replication across dozens of machines and don't even need persistent local storage. All right, we've covered the persistent solo drive and the super fast temporary drive. Now, let's look at the team player of the group, EFS, the Elastic File System. The real magic of EFS is right there in the definition. It is a single, shared file system that multiple servers can connect to and use at the exact same time. This solves a huge common problem. How in the world do you share data across a whole fleet of servers? And the scale we're talking about here is just massive. We're not talking about 2 or 3 servers sharing a folder. We are talking about potentially thousands of EC2 instances, all reading from and writing to the same central storage location, all at once. This design makes it a no-brainer for things like a WordPress site, where you might have multiple web servers that all need to see the same uploaded images and themes. Or for big data jobs, where a whole cluster of machines needs to process one central data set. It's also incredibly accessible, often spanning multiple availability zones for extra resilience. And, maybe the best part is that it scales automatically. You never have to worry about provisioning space, you just use what you need, and you only pay for what you actually store. Okay, so we've met our three main players. We've got EBS, the virtual hard drive, Instance Store, the speedy scratchpad, and EFS, the shared file system. Now, let's put it all together so you can make the right choice every time. Think of this table as your ultimate cheat sheet. The first thing to notice is that type row. EBS and Instance Store are both block storage. Think of them like raw hard drives that a single computer controls. EFS, on the other hand, is file storage, which works more like a shared network folder that lots of computers can get to at once. From there, you can see all the key trade-offs in durability, access, and scaling. If you just keep this basic model in your head, you'll be set. You know what? Let's make it even simpler. Just ask yourself these three questions. First, do I need to share files between many servers? If the answer is yes, just stop right there. The answer is EFS. No contest. If not, ask question 2. Do I need extreme, blazing speed for data that I can afford to lose? If yes, then Instance Store is the tool for you. And for literally everything else, your operating systems, your main databases, your general purpose, gotta keep it safe storage, you start with EBS. It's really that simple. So, remember, these aren't just a bunch of technical acronyms. They are the fundamental building blocks for anything you want to create in the cloud. They're the foundation. The next time you're mapping out an application, you'll know exactly which tool to reach for to make sure it's fast, resilient, and ready to scale. The only question left is, what are you going to build?